What's up, guys? I have a video here that I think is kind of cool. I think this will be pretty exciting, but I'm doing a test to see how many kilowatt hours go into these two battery packs. So right now they're both connected in parallel. I'm going to connect it to grid, unfortunately, but in order to keep this one continual test and not rely on solar power, it's going to have to be on grid. So I have them both connected in parallel. I just got back from a trip. They're both pretty much fully depleted. I'll show you inside on my tablet here in a second. But yeah, I'm just gonna feed them a bunch of power, and then on my EVSE, I have an open EVSE. You'll see it in a little bit, but it has a continual timer on it, so it'll show how many kilowatt hours have gone into the pack. I'm guessing it's gonna be a while. At 40 amps into the Rav4, just the Rav4 battery pack, from totally empty to totally full, can be between 5 and 6 hours, something like that. Public charging is up to like 9 hours. It's crazy. But at 40 amps, 5 to 6 hours. I imagine it's going to be, of course, at least double, maybe even triple, because this T-Rex has a Tesla 85 kilowatt hour battery pack in it. And we all know there's degradation, and the 85 kilowatt hour packs weren't actually 85 kilowatt hours. From what I've heard in studies that Jason Hughes and other people have done, hopefully I'm saying his last name right, but tests other people have done have said around 77 kilowatt hours is what an 85 kilowatt hour pack has. So yeah, it could be 15 hours at 40 amps. We'll see. Of course, there are losses involved as well, going from 240 AC through the EVSE into the car. So there's a couple conversions, and of course there's gonna be losses with that. So the number on the EVSE might end up being a little higher than actually is in the battery pack. So just thought I'd throw that out there. So I'll take you inside the car, I'll show you the tablet, show you the stats, and we'll get this test going. Okay, so here we are right now. This is the Rav, that's the T-Rex. So they're both at 303 volts. They're in parallel, so that's expected. So this is the T-Rex. We'll look at the T-Rex first. Ignore some of these numbers. The CAN data is a little different in the Tesla battery packs compared to the Rav4 battery pack. Even though they're all Tesla, the CAN data is slightly different, so these numbers don't come across. 1,000 amps is supposed to be 0, so there's slight current coming out of the T-Rex battery pack. You can see my temperatures are a little higher just because I got back from the road trip, but they're matching, so they're looking pretty good. And this is why I wanted to start the test right now as opposed to depleting anything a little further. As you get down in any battery pack, there is going to be a bit more of an imbalance. That's normal. I've looked at a bunch of different battery packs, and that happens with all of them as you get towards the bottom side. So I'm at 3.05 on the T-Rex. And as I've mentioned before in previous videos, the bottom threshold for the T-Rex V2 is going to be a bit higher, because 96 series cells at 3 volts is going to be 288 volts is the bottom line that you want for the T-Rex V2. But for the Rav, it has 92 series cells, so that can go down to, 277 volts, something like that. So as you can see in the Rav, there's still 2 kilowatt hours remaining. Plenty. And then you can see my temperatures. They're higher than the T-Rex, and you can see the voltage difference at the cell level. And this is just starting to get a little wacky. So it's still not bad, but it's starting to separate a little bit, again, because it's getting towards the bottom. And then if we look down here, you can see that I have 6 miles remaining on the guessometer. If I turn the air conditioning on, it automatically goes down to low, but I'll turn that back off, and this is going to be my baseline. So now we will see how it goes. So here's my open EVSE charger. I actually have 2 of them. The bottom one is there if I want to charge just off of solar, and this one is here just in case I want to charge off the grid. So it's set at level 2 at 50 amps, but of course my car, the fastest I can charge is about 40 amps. So I'm going to take the plug, and it's going in. So what I usually do is I wait until it starts charging and I know because I can watch my little display down there, and then I watch these little numbers right here, and then I push my battery button that I have installed right there that closes the contactors in the rear of the Rav4, and that puts them both in parallel. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'm going to start watching some numbers and see how it goes. Okay, here's the start of a long journey. It's charging at 37.8 amps, and you can see on the left the watt hours are just starting to climb. So as long as there's no interruption in power from the power company, I'll be able to just charge this start to finish and see how much power that they take. Well, go figure. I almost never have problems charging, but for some reason the car just clunked, the contactors opened in the Rav4, and charging stopped. So I did the magic reset thing with our Rav4, which is that you turn the power on and off 5 times and it should reset. It didn't. So right now I disconnected the 12-volt battery, and it's gonna sit for 5-10 minutes and see if that hopefully clears it. So we'll see. I disconnected the charger, as you can see, and then right here, because this counter now is going to reset. So on the left, I did take a photo of it, and that's where I'm at right now. So I'll have to add that number to whatever the number is in the end, assuming this works and I can continue charging. Very strange. I mean, this has very rarely ever happened before. I think twice. Yeah, so hopefully it's nothing. More to come. All right, that worked. And I'm glad I took that photo because, yeah, the clock restarted on the left. Well, unfortunately, it just failed for a second time, so I just took a photo of the charger and going to go through the process again and restart the 12-volt battery and get that code cleared and continue on with the test. All right, it's just shy of 7:30, so it's been about 3.5 hours. For some strange reason, the car has stopped charging twice. I couldn't reset it with the cycling the power on and off, so I had to actually disconnect the battery both times. A little weird, but we're back to charging. It's been charging ever since just fine. So right now I'm looking at the Rav. You can see the volts. It's 20.4 kilowatt hours in it right now. We started off, remember, what was it, 2.2? And temperatures are getting kind of high, but I'm sure the car's doing what it needs to do to maintain that temperature. And then up here, this is the T-Rex. So there's 12 amps going into the T-Rex. And temperatures look great, and cell voltages look good. And I just checked the EVSE, and I added up all the kilowatt hours. I'm about 37.5 kilowatt hours in so far. So I think I'm about halfway, which would be a lot faster than I expected, but we'll just keep watching, see how it goes. All right, so here's my last update before bed. It's 11:30, including the downtime I had to disconnect the battery. That's 8 hours of charging so far. I also did the math and added up all my kilowatt hours at this point. I haven't had any more issues with the car shutting down, thankfully, so that's good. I am at 73.5 kilowatt hours that have gone into these 2 battery packs so far. The Rav4 battery pack seems to charge up to around 37 to 38 kilowatt hours these days, so that is a bit of a degradation from when it was new. It has about 73,000 miles on it. Right now I'm at 30 kilowatt hours in the battery pack, so we'll see what that tops out at. T-Rex voltages are the same. One thing I've noticed, it seems like more of the current when it started was going into the Rav4 battery pack, but right now I have 8 amps going into the Rav4 battery pack and 14 amps going into the T-Rex battery pack. And it's been that way for a few hours now. So I'll keep watching that. I'm just interested to see how that progresses. And temperatures and voltages look good. All right, so there's the last update for the night, and it should definitely be charged in the morning. I will get an email. Well, hopefully I get an email letting me know what time this finished charging. But at some point overnight, it should finish. Hey guys, so it's the next day. The test has been done. I need to add up all the numbers. I'm gonna go inside and make a spreadsheet and try to show you guys that. I'm still editing at like a 5th grade level, so I'm not sure how to overlay a screenshot with audio with me speaking. So I'll have to figure that part out. It might be pretty crude. but I'll compile the numbers and show you guys how everything turned out. Unfortunately, it is crazy hot. We're in the middle of another heat wave. Right now it is like 92 degrees and pouring rain. Needless to say, the humidity level is high. So I'm letting my car run right now because I did a full extended charge. And as many of you guys probably know, if you're into EVs, that's like the worst thing to do, is fully charge your battery and then let it sit in the warm weather. And if you didn't know that, don't do it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm letting the car run with the AC on, and with the Rav4 specifically, if you put it in auto mode on the climate controls with the air conditioning on, the air conditioning will also cool the battery. Normally the fluid circulates through the radiator in the front of the car, but if you put it in auto mode with the air conditioner running, it will actually use the air conditioner to cool the batteries. And it's also helpful because it'll help use some of that power on the top end. I don't really have to drive anywhere right now, so yeah, got to get that power out now that I got it in there overnight. But the test went great. I'll go inside, compile some numbers, and try to have some data for you here shortly. Hey guys, so first off, the time, I started it at 3 p.m. and it finished just before 3 p.m. the next morning. So probably 11 hours, 45 minutes from empty to full. And I started with 2.2 kilowatt hours in the Rav4. I don't know what I started with in the T-Rex version 2, the Tesla battery in there. I don't have the CAN data for that. Then I added up the kilowatt hours each time I had a little glitch. So the total kilowatt hours recorded by my open EVSE charging station is 106.29 kilowatt hours. When it was all done, the Rav4 reported via CAN that it was at 38.4 kilowatt hours. So that shows some degradation. The car, when it was new, had 41.8 usable available kilowatt hours. So if you do the quick math, that leaves roughly 67.89 kilowatt hours that are probably in the T-Rex pack. So I kind of thought that number would be higher. I thought my capacity would be higher on that pack, and I still think it is, because the cell voltage for that pack was only 3.9. So really that could go up to 4.15 at 100% charge. And so there's still quite a bit of capacity there. I think it should definitely be over 70 kilowatt hours, but I'm not going to be able to get there until I have an onboard charger in the T-Rex. Because right now I'm using the charger that is in the Rav4, and that's programmed for the Rav4 battery. So it's not going to charge any higher than what the Rav4 battery wants. But once I get the Gen 2 charger working in the camper, then I could charge that up to 100% and figure out what that capacity is. Hopefully that makes sense. So that was a fun little test. I think it went pretty well. I'm not too surprised by anything, but it's been working great. The T-Rex has been awesome. We've taken many trips now, and it has just worked out great. It pulls awesome. So I'm really happy that I have that, and I have it. So hopefully we can get out there, start using it some more, and do some more testing. But I guess that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. Feel free to like and subscribe and share and all that stuff. But have a good day, guys. See ya.